coaching for his job this Sunday against the Tennessee Titans. The Arizona Cardinals have a couple of must-win games on the table. And listen, let's talk more Marvin Harrison Jr. as well as Arizona State football got a massive win on Monday. That was a ton of fun. We'll talk about that, and we'll do it all next.
The Ben Garcia Show. Yeah. Woo. Best show in the land. Yup. Listen. Come and get your information from Ben Garcia. Get the latest on your quarterback, running backs, and receivers. Tune in, so any other show you don't need him. Any news that he giving out, please just believe him. Giving out the latest prediction and top-notch analysis. Wanna hear the truth, better have thick skin like callus. The latest move that your team just made can be damaging. The dudes ain't speaking no facts, they just be rambling. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show. Go get the cameraman. Yeah. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show. Go get the cameraman. The Ben Garcia Show.
What is up? Welcome into yet another edition of the Ben Garcia Show. Appreciate you guys being here on a Monday, 4 days removed after what was just an abysmal Cardinals loss on Thursday Night Football. Clear eyes, full hearts. You can't really... You have a second now to digest what happened in that game, and there's a lot of different things to get into. So do me a favor, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe to the Ben Garcia Show. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. We got a couple of things to get into on this edition of the show, and let's start it, and let's dive into it right away. So yesterday, 32, 31, 20, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28. After the conclusion of the Arizona Cardinals, after the conclusion of Week 4 games on Sunday, the Arizona Cardinals now own the fourth worst total offense in all of the NFL. And the only quarterbacks behind the Arizona Cardinals are Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Hurts, Jake Browning, and none other than Cam Ward. We can take this one of two ways. The first way is, what the hell is going on? This is an offense that is star-studded. And I don't know how much more evidence we need that this is an offensive coordinator issue, not a quarterbacking issue. For those of you that have issues with Kyler, my hope is that you could at least see the talent of Kyler Murray. See what he can do. Now, there are issues with Kyler. I think one of them is he continues to talk about wanting to run more, but he doesn't actually show you that. Through 4 games this season, he has less rushing yards than he did through 4 games last season. Kyler is not running the ball like he has said he'd wanted to do, but we'll get to that in just a second. But what we can say about Kyler is he's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league. He throws an impressive deep ball, and still this team can't push the ball downfield. The only quarterbacks that are worse in total offense than what the Arizona Cardinals are doing right now, Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles, Jake Browning and the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Arizona Cardinals' opponent on Sunday, and the Tennessee Titans and Cam Ward. It is asinine that this is where the Cardinals are. And you could say to yourself, well, it's early in the season. Okay, let's list the quarterbacks that are just ahead of the Arizona Cardinals at 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. Tyrod Taylor right now, or Justin Fields, Joe Flacco, Tua Tagovailoa, CJ Stroud, Bryce Young. It isn't until you get to like the 13, 14 range where you've got Seattle and Sam Darnold, who's been pretty good, the Kansas City Chiefs. The Cardinals are one of the worst offenses in the league, and it is not necessarily close right now. And Kyler Murray is being negatively impacted by that. The biggest problem with this season so far is not the fact that they're 2-2. It's not the fact that I don't know if I could pick them to make the playoffs at this point. I'd probably lean towards no. But it's the fact that we still aren't sure about Kyler. It's what kind of makes me really frustrated with people who are so anti Kyler Murray. Like, I have strong criticisms of Kyler. I've gone after him numerous times. He's blocked me on all social media platforms, and I couldn't care less about any of that because I feel like I'm very honest and fair. Like, I see some people in my comment section defend him to no end, and I just can't believe you would still do that, but that's other people's opinions, not mine. Kyler has the tools to be successful. He's incredibly accurate. He's got one of the best deep balls in the league. When he wants to run, he's one of the most dynamic runners. And still, we're not sure what he is because people don't give Kyler the benefit of the doubt. The first couple years with Cliff Kingsbury, let's just say Cliff is a good offensive coordinator. I still have, real issues with that idea too, but whatever. But let's say Cliff is a really good offensive coordinator. That's perfectly fine. The head coaching thing of Cliff Kingsbury was unequivocally a disaster. And if it's not Cliff, what about Steve Keim? What was the last first-round star Steve Keim drafted outside of Kyler Murray? What was it, DJ Humphries? He's not a star. He's just a B-, B+, tackle in the NFL for a really long time. It was asinine. Kyler was asked to carry an organization, and it wasn't fair to him. And so when I see people go, insanely hard after Kyler Murray, I'm like, can we give the guy a little bit of a break? Because right now, what I believe Kyler Murray is Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold before those two guys found their forever homes in Seattle and then with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. One of the reasons why I don't want to get rid of Kyler is because I do fear what will happen if he goes elsewhere. We saw a couple of ESPN analysts say this the other day. Has Kyler run his course in Arizona? I don't know. One thing that you get in the show is hard-hitting, firm belief and opinions. But I will never say something on here that I don't believe. I don't think Jonathan Gannon and Monty Ossenfort know what they have in Kyler Murray. And I know people say things like, well, it's 7 years. The offensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals is unequivocally terrible. He is unequivocally terrible. And see another example last night in Clayton Adams with the Dallas Cowboys. People say things, well, he doesn't call plays. Have you seen their offensive line? That's pretty good. Javonte Williams was a bad running back with the Denver Broncos after he tore his ACL. And now he looks really viable. The running lanes are open. Dak looks really good. That is the fingerprints of Clayton Adams printed everywhere. And the Cardinals just don't have that. And my continued example with Drew Petzing is this. Despite the weapons, despite having good offensive lines, he still can't find a way to make this offense go. And that is not a Kyler Murray issue, guys. That is a Drew Petzing issue. And what scares me is, there's a likelihood that the Cardinals could move on from Kyler. And then you find out later on, oh, wait, no, the actual issue was the buffoon of an offensive coordinator. So this Sunday, I just saw someone in the chat say, if Arizona loses to the Titans, you got to fire Petzing, right? You would think so. But do I have wholehearted belief in that? No. What has Jonathan Gannon done consistently with this offense? There's nothing wrong. It looks great to me. You're telling me now he's just going to flip up and say, oh, yeah, he's got to go. Unfortunately, for better or for worse, but most likely for worse, Drew Petzing ain't going anywhere. And it's a frustrating place to be. He's not going anywhere. And so you are relying on Drew Petzing to change his ways. Get rid of some 12 personnel. Get rid of some 13 personnel. Start going wide out. I mean, I can't remember the last time Kyler Murray was in shotgun by himself. with 5 wide receivers or 5 pass catchers ready to catch the ball. And I think there's a world where they do finally figure out a way to be more productive. But what is frustrating is this offense has shown clearly at times they can be productive and be one of the better offenses in the NFL. But Jonathan Gannon is not demanding that. And Drew Petzing certainly is not demanding that. This offense is predicated on running the ball, which they can't do. Don't turn over the ball, which Kyler Murray does a pretty good job of. Dink and dunk, score 3 field goals, and get us a touchdown. And I'll do the rest. And in the 2025 version of the NFL, that just doesn't work anymore. And at some point, the Drew Petzing experiment does need to come back and bite him in the ass. And it's just crazy, man. After seeing that last night. And so do I think Drew Petzing should be coaching for his job on Sunday? Abso-freaking-lutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. What has he earned or have any goodwill to say, yeah, he'll figure it out? The reason why I believe the offense will never change is because we are 2.5 years into it now? It hasn't changed, and it won't change. Why would it, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm so frustrated with my early season prediction of the Arizona Cardinals. When the preseason was going on, I was giving my final takes for the Arizona Cardinals season, and I was ecstatic with what they had. I said this Cardinals team was going to make the playoffs, be a higher seed, and make it to the NFC Conference Championship game. How stupid do I look? How ridiculous of a take is that now? I didn't think they'd make the Super Bowl. Thank God I didn't say that. But I thought they'd lose in the conference championship game. And this is why you say it out loud. It is an offensive coordinator issue. It is not a quarterbacking issue. Kyler is, at the very minimum, a good quarterback in the NFL. He's not elite, like I have some people tell me. He's not great, like some people try to tell me. But there is much worse that you can do than Kyler Murray. Can you imagine if this offense had Russell Wilson? And they've got what is supposed to be a star wide receiver. They've got Trey McBride. Trey Benson was a 3rd-round pick as a running back. I believe the first running back taken in that draft. There's no excuses for it. And the Cardinals had the perfect opportunity to fire Drew Petzing last week and give what I would have thought have been Drew Terrell, the passing game coordinator, the reins to that offense. He would have been able to go up against the Tennessee Titans defense that isn't good, and then be able to get ready for Daniel Jones, and I can't believe I'm saying that, in the Indianapolis Colts, who probably should have beat the Rams yesterday and still be undefeated. So I can't buy it, guys. I don't think he's getting fired anytime soon. And until they start taking more risks, like my guy Saul in the chat is saying, this is what they are. And it's frustrating to hear that. Like, guys, we'll get deeper into this game later on in the week. Hopefully I'll find a Tennessee Titans beat reporter to come on the show like I've been doing. You guys have been, going after that like crazy, which also, shameless plug, I had Jason McIntyre of The Herd on the show on Saturday. You should go check that out as well. Hit the like, share, subscribe button there. But the Cardinals are favored by 9.5 on Sunday. And I said, I thought this team was going to be an NFC Conference Championship team. And most of it had to do with the fact that the Lions and the Commanders were both conference championship teams in consecutive years, and both those teams have been continuous losers for their entirety of their existence. And I thought to myself, if this offense can just be 20% better than last year, and the defense we know is going to be better, they're going to be a dangerous team in the playoffs. Now I don't buy that. It's come to the point where somehow the Arizona Cardinals are favored by 9.5 at home against the Tennessee Titans. Where did the goodwill come for the Cardinals to be for the Cardinals to be a 9.5-point favorite at home. Where did that show up? Where did the goodwill come from? I think they beat the Titans on Sunday because the Titans are terrible. But 9.5. Are we sure the Cardinals are going to score 15 points? They've scored 20 points in a game once. Outside of that, they couldn't get to 20 points. And so, no, Drew Petzing's not going to get fired. It's just not happening. It's ridiculous. I think it's asinine. And it's shameless of Jonathan Gannon to continue to defend this offense. Oh, there's one or two things wrong. I'll tell you what, man. I am an analyst first. I'm an opinionist first. I'm not a fan anymore. Like, I root for the Arizona Cardinals. And the reasoning for that is this. It's why when people come after me, like, you don't like Kyler. You don't like Marv. No. I enjoy having a successful business. This is a business, guys. This is a business. If the team does better, this business makes more money. I don't have to work a second job, a third job to make ends meet. But this is what I do. So I'm pissed off just like you guys. Like, I thought it'd be nice to level with you on a human level here. I'm pissed off at this team for not playing well, not because, like, I'm a massive fan. Like, yeah, I like the team. I grew up on the team. But this is a job for me. And when I see bad coaching hindering what is, I think, very good talent on this team, it's incredibly frustrating. And yes, some blame goes to Kyler. But 60% of it, 65% of it right now is Drew Petzing. And it's and sharing a lot of that blame with Drew Petzing, that 65%, is Jonathan Gannon. Because he is celebrating this offense. And just a bad place to be. And so, yeah, they're going to beat the Titans on Sunday. But if you told me, are they going to beat them by 9.5 or more? Why? How in the world would I get there? And I think the biggest thing that is so frustrating for this team that I can level with in the fan side. So my guy Saul, my guy Aaron, like guys, my guy Aaron, you should be a fan still. It's not the lane I've taken anymore. Like, I root for the team. I want the team to win, but it no longer affects my day. Like, when I was in high school and I was a massive Cardinal fan, I'd make sure to get my homework before the game done because there's no way I'd focus on it after if they lost. And so, like, I'm not there anymore. I'm not a reporter. I'm an opinionist. I'm an analyst of this team. And I want this team to win because it's better for literally everyone. So I think they win on Sunday, but I just don't think they've earned the right to this point to be favored by 9.5. I don't know where Vegas got that number. So I'll take Arizona to win, and we'll get deeper into it later, but it's like, what, 17-7 is what I'd go towards? So that's where I would land for the Cardinals this week so far. I'm incredibly frustrated that this team hasn't fired their offensive coordinator, hasn't lit a fire under this team's ass. It feels like the only person that has any emotion right now that this is not okay is the person that everyone says isn't a leader in Kyler. So, frustrating. Really frustrating. Here's what's not frustrating. The fact that the Arizona State Sun Devils continue to push the narrative that they are one of the better teams in the Big 12. This team was waiting to be written off by the rest of the college football community. And while you have a head coach in Jonathan Gannon, who continues to tell you everything is fine and continues to just straight up lie to your face, and not just lie, but gaslight you. Oh, the offense is fine. Oh, there's one or two things to fix. One of the things I consistently love about Kenny Dillingham is his absolute realness. And not realness in the sense of like, oh, that guy's real. No, he's brutally honest. It's what I would hope to be if I was a head coach, which would never happen. Kenny Dillingham shows up each and every week and tells you exactly what's wrong. Mississippi State game told you exactly what's wrong. And what I think is so fascinating about Kenny Dillingham is he got crushed, including by me, after the Mississippi State loss. And you go back and look at that and you're like, well, I was right. He can't be committing the same mistakes that he committed against Texas, a couple of months ago in the Cotton Bowl or the Peach Bowl. Like, he can't be replicating those same mistakes. But I might have been a little hard on Kenny Dillingham, which you don't hear a lot of from me. And I think at this point with ASU football, it's so interesting. Yes, Kalen DeBoer won this weekend. Congratulations to him. But it's so interesting how Kalen DeBoer's Alabama teams, for the most part, keep losing ranked games. We saw him lose to Florida State earlier in the year. He's got the most losses, I think, as a ranked team than Nick Saban has. It's funny to see Dabo Swinney with the talent of Clemson in a conference that, let's be honest, the ACC is not better than the Big 12. So in a conference of the ACC that is the same or not better than the Big 12's talent, Clemson continues to get SEC and Big 10 talent. He continues to fall short of expectations. Kenny Dillingham continues to get more out of less. It's why teams should be foaming at the mouth to hire Kenny Dillingham as their head coach. I don't think he'd go. I think he genuinely loves it here. And I think ASU will continue to give him the raises that he deserves to be the head coach here at ASU. But I was thoroughly impressed with ASU on Friday. Full transparency. I thought ASU would win, but that quickly evaporated when TCU got up 17-0. And what I thought was so telling in this game, and I was watching it at a restaurant with my wife for the first half, and then we went home and I watched the rest of it there. Literally left right at halftime, so I didn't miss anything. But Kenny Dillingham is the same head coach, regardless of what's going on in the game. He's intense. He's demanding. He's encouraging. He's engaged. It doesn't matter. Like, if we're using the cross-team reference in the Arizona Cardinals, Jonathan Gannon is the same, but in the worst way. He never throws a fit on the sidelines. He's too stoic on the sidelines. He's too calm at times. Kenny Dillingham is losing his mind whether the team is up 30 or down 30. And I think that is a breath of fresh air for college players that could quickly get their confidence eaten. Kenny never panicked. And I thought that was incredibly impressive on Friday night. And when they got down 17-0, I said to myself, well, this is when ASU kind of plays their best football. I saw them down 17-0. It's not like the Cardinals. They get down that much, you're like, yeah, they're done. They don't have the ability to score points. This ASU offense, which I have been the one saying it's fine, people have told me, what about the wide receivers? What about him? What about him? Jordan Tyson's still freaking awesome. And last year, they didn't have wide receiving weapons. I'm not holding this team to the college football championship standard, but they do have a standard of get to the Big 12 championship game. And they got to the Big 12 championship game, won the Big 12 championship without Jordan Tyson last year. Can he get timely catches from wide receivers not named Jordan Tyson late in the game? Can I get 3 big catches? That's not a lot to ask. Mateo, the tight end, continues to step into his own, has become what I think is like the security blanket for Sam Levitt. Jordan Tyson's the Ferrari. Mateo's the find the soft spots and zones guy. And then still Raleek Brown and Kanye Udo are the perfect 1-2 punch pairing. The other Brown, whose name right now is mistaking me or escaping me at this moment, should not be in the game. I can't believe he's escaping me. But this is what ASU does. I think they have followed the continued identity of what ASU football is and who their head coach is. They have continued to show they are Kenny Dillingham. They are gritty, they are emotional, and when the worst thing happens, when bleep hits the fan, Kenny Dillingham and his teams play their best football. And whether it's Sam Levitt or Jordan Tyson or this defense that plays incredibly violent, like this defense is not amazing of ASU. Like it's not an elite level defense. It's good, but it's not great. But what is telling of this ASU defense is it's just a bunch of playmakers, ball hawkers. Every time ASU needs a big play against Baylor, jumps her out, picks off Robertson. This week, the dude strip sacked Josh Hoover while engaging in another blocker, and then on the very next drive, they pick him off. They're a timely, defensive, ball-hawking defense. What more could you ask for? I will continue to scream from the rooftops. I think this team is better this year than it was last year. Cam Scatterboot is a massive blow. Here's the silver lining in that. Every team in the Big 12 had their Cam Scatterboot in whatever position that was and however good they were, and they lost him last year because that's what happens in college football. But this team's good. This team's very good, and they should beat Utah in a couple of weeks, and they should beat Iowa State. Texas Tech's really freaking good, and Texas Tech should be favored in that game, but you do get them at home. And then finally, my final take is, man, if Kyler Murray doesn't work out for the Arizona Cardinals or they eventually decide to push him to the side, Sam Levitt is a really good consolation prize. A little bit of a gunslinger, sometimes takes too many risks with his arm, and it can cost him with either a bad miss or a, bad interception. But everything I love about Sam Levitt is everything, is the exact opposite of why I hate the Arizona Cardinals offense. Sam Levitt's a gunslinger. He is willing to push the ball downfield, and man, he takes risks. He kind of reminds me of Jake Plummer in that way. Where the dude's going to throw for 40 touchdowns, but he's probably going to throw 20 picks along with that. Because no risk it, no risk it, no biscuit, that old adage. And he's willing to take shots, and he's got a quick memory of, yep, that didn't work out. Change that. And so his ability to play his best football when his best is asked. Numerous times this team failed in the red zone. Not when they needed it. They got their field goal, got off the field, let the defense take care of it. But Levitt has been a jubilation for the Arizona State Sun Devils this year. I know people have been harder on him. No one, they always want to mention the wide receivers, but not when mentioning Sam Levitt and his poor play at times. The dude's doing it with Jordan Tyson, Mateer, and Raleek Brown. It's not an embarrassment of riches. The offensive line is good, not great, and the defensive line makes timely turnovers. But this kid moves at times like Lamar Jackson, like Kyler Murray. Makes dudes miss, gets downfield with his legs, and then makes the most absolutely insane throws. The throw against Texas State where he's, about to get sacked, leaning to his left, throws it to Jordan Tyson for a damn near touchdown. And then you have times where he throws a boneheaded interception. That's him, though. And he's unapologetically him. That's funny you say that, Ben, because the announcers were calling him Snake. That's hilarious. Because when I was watching the game on Friday night with the wife, it was one of the first times my wife actually watched ASU football with me. So it was down and I was editing a little bit, but I didn't notice that. That's awesome. Well, ASU football's got a bye this week. We'll probably talk about them again later on in the week, but I'm so impressed with ASU football. They are the team that is carrying the Valley right now. And I'll be honest with you, I do expect them to lose to Texas Tech. Texas Tech's really freaking good, but beat Iowa State, beat Utah, beat Arizona late in the season, and you'll put yourself in a chance to be in that Big 12 title game. And that's all that matters. But with that being said, guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. Everyone in here, Claymore Jones, Saul, Aaron, Money Bandit, I appreciate, or Kendrick Lamar, not Kendrick, but still, you guys are what makes this show go. I couldn't appreciate you any more than I actually do. You guys are amazing. You guys make this show continue to run, and I'm thankful for all of you. On Wednesday, we'll be back at 7 a.m. Remember, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 a.m. is when we do these shows. We'll be talking more Cardinals, maybe some Suns coming up very soon here. But with that being said, hit that like, share, subscribe button, follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia.